really glad that you've joined us today. Today we're talking about being a perfect parent with perfect kids. You know, this is, I think it's kind of a plague right now, to be honest with you. Having to make sure that you are a perfect parent or that your kids are perfect is oh man, it's a lot, right? And so today I'd like to talk to you about that parent to parent, because y'all know I've got my own kids and I struggle with this a lot too. I would like us to just kind of talk about this. There's three main reasons that trying to be the perfect parent with perfect kids is just not worth it, right? First, it's uncomfortable. Second, it's unhealthy. And third, it's unrealistic. So let's talk about that first part, uncomfortable. You know, perfection tends to be created based on external factors. What is the expected or perceived behavior, look, reactions, whatever, that indicate perfection? It doesn't come from us, it comes from outside, right? And so you're trying to be somebody you're not. You're expecting your children to be somebody they're not. That is an uncomfortable feeling. Not only that, it kind of denies you the uniqueness of you, and it denies your kids the uniqueness of them, right? So it's, first of all, uncomfortable. Second, it's unhealthy. If you're always trying to make sure that you are doing something that everybody else expects you to do, man, that's exhausting. And I know this because I lived that life for a very long time. I had to make sure everything was done on time. Everything was looking, pristine, that my kids were dressed in the right clothes, that they behaved the right way. Oh my gosh, I was exhausted and stressed and angry because I wasn't who I was. Well, my kids, same probably as your kids, they're unhealthy now too because they have this expectation of perfection on them that isn't healthy, right? So if we're trying to be perfect, we're creating a dichotomy, or a dynamic for them that is not going to be good for them. I mean, I tell you, I have adult kids now. It left its mark, and I don't want it to, and we're working really hard through that now. The third thing is that it's unrealistic. And a lot of that comes from all the stuff I've already talked about. One, who really defines what perfect is? Seriously, have you ever thought about that? What is the perfect family supposed to be? And why is it that some other person is telling you and I and your kids what perfect is supposed to be? Aren't we the people that have to define for ourselves what we want? Don't we want our kids to define for themselves what they want? Why do we want somebody outside to tell us what perfect is? And I think a lot of that comes from we're afraid that we're not good enough parents. We're afraid we're going to mess up our kids. We're afraid that somehow we're going to get it all wrong. And then our kids are going to grow up and they're going to blame us and they're going to be in therapy, whatever. I get it, right? Here's the thing. Therapy's not a bad thing and they're not going to blame you. But that fear is pervasive, and it really does cause all of us as parents to decide that we have to be perfect so that we don't mess up and that way our kids will be okay. That's not true. So what do you do if you've been trying to live the perfect life? Well, here's some things. First, examine that life. Is it really what you want? Is that the kind of perfect that you really want? Do you really want to battle with your kids all the time to make sure they wear the big bows in their hair, wear the certain shoes, or put on their coat, or don't wear their, costume to the grocery store because you're afraid of what people are going to think of your child in a costume in the grocery store? Is that what you want? What is your ideal family dynamic? What does that look like for you? I'm assuming it's going to have things like laughter and joy and connection and fun. Well, that doesn't come when you're trying to be unhealthy and unrealistic and uncomfortable all the time, trying to live up to somebody else's expectations. It just can't. So examine your own expectations. What are your expectations on your kids? Are those realistic? What are your expectations on yourself? And this, I know, is so hard for us as women specifically. We tend to own a lot of expectations that we just think are supposed to be there. But can I just tell you, they're not. 95% of what we live with in terms of expectations on ourselves is just not meant to be. It's false. It's a lie. So examine the expectations that you're living with and decide for yourself whether you want those to be. You get to choose. You get to decide if that's what you want. So take some time over the next couple weeks or days or whatever and kind of think through this. And if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. Let's have a discussion about this, because perfection is not something we can erase in one short video. Perfection is something we have to break through daily. So let's have a discussion. All right. If you have any questions or comments, of course, leave them below, and I will see you next time.